All right, so in today's video we're using the program Scratch. We're going to create a function. In Scratch they actually call it the myblocks. Basically a function is you can create a label for a set of code and reuse that code over and over just by calling on that label. Okay, could be a method. Languages can call them different things. You could call it a method potentially. You could call it functions, which is kind of what Python uses. So anyways, it's down here with myblocks. Okay, so if we click on this, we're going to get the option to make a block. Now when you click on that, you're going to get three different options here. You have add input, you have add an input that's a Boolean, where this one's number or text, and we can add a label. We're just going to go ahead and stick with add a label for right now. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and we're just going to label it walk. And what we're going to do is just give some code for this walk, and I'll explain this as we go further into this. So this is going to be our myblock. And one thing you have to be aware of, so I created myblock here. If I create another character, let's just go ahead and choose another sprite, and we'll just use Abby here as an example. The myblock is not in her set of code, so you will have to, depending on if you have the cat, you want to make another myblock, you'll have to drag that over and add that to Abby as well. So now we have this walk. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it some code. And we're just going to add, a walk, and we'll do a turn. And let's go ahead and do if on edge bounce, and we'll use a look. So we'll say hello, and we could add a sound if we wanted to as well. We could add a lot of different things here. But this is just our set of code, and usually we use these, maybe it's something that you have like an if, right? If that's occurring and you have it, if it's touching a character, let's say, then the character is going to do something. So maybe we want to think, do something like that. So you got a whole set of code here, okay? And we want it to say that it's touching that character. So this is all this code, and usually these are going to be kind of lengthy, right? And so, if you could create this block of code and then keep reusing it over and over, and you don't have to worry about, continually putting this code together. You can kind of create it one time, and you can use it over and over and over. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and call on this. I'm going to go to my block and drag this out here. And so if I want to say that on the green flag, I want that character to do this, and let's actually get this if out of here, we're not going to use that. And when I press the green flag, it's going to say that immediately. But maybe also in my program, I also want to use an event where the character is, using an arrow key or something like that, which I don't really have that in a good setup here, but even just spacebar. And I can then drag that myblock out there and use that again. So it allows me, even though here, this walk is actually just using this amount of code, whereas this walk is using that as well. So it's saving me space, it's allowing me to organize my program a little bit better, and it just keeps things simpler. So if we hit the green flag, it says hello, and it moved and did its thing. And then if I hit the space bar as well, it does that as well. So that's kind of what the myblocks are. They're used, languages would call them functions. And so this is how you would create a myblock for a function. And this is what you have right here. Now, if you did create another one, which we'll talk about in another video and you get into these, you're looking at using them as a parameter. That's why if you click on this, you'll notice that you have the block name, but then you also have the parameter, whether you're going to have a number or text, which we'll talk about in another video. But today, just focus on the label, and just focus on the text label. All right, hopefully that helps you. Good luck with your coding.